Well, good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Starr. Today is Tuesday, September 16th, 2025, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. As a reminder, our call-in number is 1-971-254-3149. Conference ID 866-914-607#. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. Typically, we are able to mute your phones. Right now, we're having a little technical difficulty. So if you have called in, please either mute yourself on your own telephone so that we don't hear your background noise, or you can mute in this system by using *6. And please unmute yourself if you are called to speak. Again, you would press *6 unless you have muted yourself on your own phone, in which case you will mute and unmute using your device. Thank you. It's very important for all others who are not speaking to remain muted. All right. Well, welcome, everyone. And we'll start with the Board of Commissioners roll call. Mary Faith Bell, Commissioner Bell.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Commissioner Paul Fournier.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. All right. We will jump in as we traditionally do with Adventist Health Tillamook. Eric Swanson, please go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner. We have 10 patients in the hospital today, 6 surgery cases. Our ambulance crews did 2 911 transports yesterday, 4 transfers, no transports home. I would give you boarding and discharge delay information, but unfortunately the state has not updated their website. The last update was on August 5th, so that's not helpful for us today. The only other thing I just want to tell you is last night I had the opportunity to go to the Tillamook City Council meeting. I don't go to council meetings very often, but I went to one last night because they honored our friend Dr. Paul Betlinski with a proclamation. And Dr. Betlinski and his family, kids and grandkids were there, lots of people from the community who are very fond of Dr. Betlinski, and it was just a really nice time for the city to write a proclamation just to honor him for his amazing work providing medical care and being our medical examiner. His total practice time in Tillamook, he said, was 52 years. So thank you to the city of Tillamook for doing that last night. Unless you've got questions for me, I've got a survey to go to, and so I'll just hang up.
Well, thank you for being with us. I know survey is a very busy time for the hospital, so thank you for making time for our call.
You're very welcome.
All right. Thanks, Eric. Okay, we will continue through our list, and next up would be the Coastal Caucus. I will take a moment to remind everyone that our muting function is not working this morning, so if you can please mute yourself if you're on the telephone, either using your local device's mute button or by pressing *6 in our system. Thank you. Okay, so Coastal Caucus, I don't believe that I have Senator Weber or Representative Javity this morning, so let's just take a moment. Okay, not hearing from either of them. We'll continue through our agenda and move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Center. Good morning, Camille.
Good morning, everyone. September 15th, yesterday, marked the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage Month is recognized from September 15th through October 15th. Whether you are Hispanic or have coworkers, friends, or loved ones who are, it's important to be aware of how your background affects your health. Factors outside of genetics or lifestyle can impact our health, such as socioeconomic status, structural racism, access to care, cultural values, and more. It is important to be aware of these risk factors and for everyone to get regular wellness exams to remain healthy and address any health concerns. We want everyone to be aware that Tillamook County Community Health Centers provide services to all people, regardless of language or ability to pay. And to support access to care, we have interpreters and bilingual staff. They can help you get the care you need and navigate health insurance for both the Oregon Health Plan and Healthcare Marketplace. Call us at 503-842-3900 to schedule an appointment. Celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month by taking charge of your health. September is also Emergency Preparedness Month. We highly encourage you to prepare yourself and your family for natural disasters like wildfire, floods, drought, heat waves, freezes, and earthquakes. Preparing for emergencies and disasters can help you, your family, and our community safe. Take a few moments this month to create an emergency plan with your household. It might be helpful to think about things like, how will I receive emergency alerts and warnings? What is my shelter plan? What is my evacuation route? What is my family or household communication plan? Do I have emergency preparedness kit? And if so, do I need to update it? For helpful information on emergency preparedness, including how to prepare a kit and access to a quick and easy family emergency plan fillable form, you can visit www.ready.gov. And finally, we are drawing closer to autumn and the beginning of the seasonal respiratory illness season. We know many people may be anxious to receive their flu or COVID-19 vaccinations to protect themselves and their loved ones. While Tillamook County Community Health Centers are awaiting our updated vaccination supplies, we encourage patients to call our clinic at 503-842-3900 to schedule an appointment in a couple weeks. Staff will be able to provide more information about receiving the updated vaccines at the clinic or how to get a prescription to receive the vaccines elsewhere. We encourage you to speak with your regular primary care provider or local pharmacy to determine the right course of vaccination for you to stay healthy this season. Again, that phone number to call for vaccination appointments, 503-842-3900 or 503-842-3938. Thank you. That is my report today.
Thank you, Camille. Any questions? Okay, not hearing any. We will move to Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Good morning, Gail.
Yes, good morning. Just a couple of announcements from the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy in Wheeler. We are getting closer to the ribbon cutting and the community open house that's on October 4. Opening remarks will be at 1:30, and then after that, the facility will be open for tours. And very exciting, this week, the office furnishings are being put into place, and also the waiting and reception areas furnishings. So that's also very exciting. And I think last week I mentioned I would tell you more about Dr. Holmes. He's our dentist, and he is very passionate about our mission of service to the community. Prior to accepting our position here, he led the Florence Dental Clinic in Florence, and he previously led the Haley Dental Clinic in Haley, Idaho. He has a special interest in international humanitarian work, leading volunteer teams to Ecuador and Grenada to provide dental services to residents of those countries with a special focus on preventative care for children. He's also bilingual, so that's a plus. He received his Doctor of Dental Medicine from OHSU and also holds a master's degree in public health. So I'm sure you will all be very interested in meeting him. And unfortunately, he's not going to be at the open house, but he will be, of course, staying with us. And we're very excited that he is here to support the community. So unless there's questions, that's it for me today.
Thank you, Gail. That is very exciting. Lots happening up in North County. Okay, any questions for Gail? Not hearing any, we will go ahead and continue. Tillamook Family Counseling Center is not available today, so we will move right on to emergency management. I do see Randy Thorpe with us this morning. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Commissioner. Well,
Okay, I think Randy pushed the wrong button because he just disappeared. So we're going to give him just a second and see if he realizes he's disappeared and shows back up on our radar quickly. If not, we will move on and we will circle back to him when he is back. It's a technologically challenging morning for us all. Okay, I don't see him coming back in yet, so we'll circle back as soon as I do, but we will move on to the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Bell, would you like to kick us off this morning?
You bet. Thank you. Well, what's on my mind this morning is actually Representative Javity and the changes in our political tolerance over time. So I just want to talk about that for a minute because Rep. Javity, of course, probably everyone who's listening knows, made the decision to change from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party and announced it on September 5th. And he is our representative for House District 32. And it doesn't matter to us here. It doesn't matter whether whether he's a Democrat or a Republican. From my perspective, it is what I'm interested in personally is how hard he's worked for District 32. He's worked really, really hard for us. And I supported him fully as a Republican, and I'll continue to support him. And I think he'll continue to do a good job. But what's been on my mind is the idea of growing intolerance in politics, because I'm a native Oregonian. I'm 60, so that's how much politics that I have been directly aware of in my lifetime. And Republican mavericks were some of my political heroes. And I'm wondering, is there room for political mavericks in either party now? And it seems like the answer is no. It seems like we've moved away from tolerance of people who don't believe exactly what we believe. So here's a definition of political maverick: a politician who is unafraid to cross party lines to vote his conscience or hers on important policy issues. So somebody who's unafraid to cross party lines to vote their conscience, that's a political maverick, and it used to be acceptable. It wasn't, everyone didn't love it, but it used to be acceptable. And some of the most illustrious politicians in Oregon's history were Republican political mavericks, including Tom McCall, who was my childhood governor. He did amazing things that were often in opposition of his party, including the Oregon Beach Bill, for which all of us owe McCall a tremendous debt of gratitude because he made Oregon beaches public and codified that in law. Whereas other shorefront states you go to, beaches are private, they're fenced off, the public is not allowed, development happens into the dry sand areas, and people, if they're super rich and they can afford to buy a piece of the beach, they do. So that was McCall. And McCall was an ardent environmentalist. That was his true passion. And he was a Republican. He was a maverick. And he was also responsible for the bottle bill and anti-litter and vandalism legislation and education campaigns. And he was hugely influential in our state. And conservative Republicans opposed him. Property developers opposed him. Property rights folks opposed him. There were a number of groups who opposed him, and he persevered because he had a vision for what he wanted Oregon to be that included the Department of Land Conservation and Development bill that established our land use laws, I think in '74. And those are still controversial. They were very controversial at the time, and they still are, because they preserved farmland and forest land for those uses, and they controlled development. They planned for controlled development. So that's still controversial because I think they should be updated to reflect our growing population. I think they contribute to our housing crisis because the available land to develop for housing is very limited. But on the other hand, if you've ever been to Arizona and seen like unlimited insane sprawl, that's what he prevented here. He made Oregon stay Oregon in a way that was dramatic. So I can't even imagine a more influential governor, and he was a political maverick, a Republican political maverick. And the other person I truly admired was U.S. Senator Mark Hatfield, who was a Republican political maverick, who opposed his party for 30 years on every war effort. And the reason was that he served in World War II. He served in active combat in the invasions of Iwo Jima and Okinawa. And a month after the nuclear bombs were deployed, he was were dropped. He was deployed to Hiroshima. So he came back from the war changed, and his whole focus for his entire political career, which I think was 46 years, was sanctity of life. And so he voted very consistently on sanctity of life. He voted against capital punishment, against the Cold War, against nuclear armament, against the Vietnam War, against the war in Iraq, etc. He voted always no. And his Republican colleagues, may have rolled their eyes at him. They nicknamed him St. Mark, but the integrity of his values was extraordinary to me. And I thought, there's no way I could not respect someone who leads with the integrity of their values. So that concept applies now as much as it did then. I respect people who lead with the integrity of their values and vote their conscience. And I don't care what party they're in. And I'm not, in no way is it true that Republicans are the only ones who've become intolerant, because Dems have become equally intolerant of people in the middle, of mavericks. There are ample examples of that, including Kurt Schrader, who got gerrymandered by his own party out of his moderate district into a progressive district so that he would lose that election, which he did. He lost it in the primary. So it worked, but only for a minute, because a progressive Dem won it in the primary and then lost it to a Republican in the general election. So that backfired horribly. But as a moderate Dem, watching that happen was so disheartening to me, that we're intolerant, that everything's become so polarized that we're intolerant of anybody in the middle. And I just want to say to my community that this is happening. This is happening to us, this polarization, pitting people against people, sides against sides, parties against parties. And it's not real. We can still move toward each other. We can still be in the middle, or move toward the middle, or respect people in the middle who are living and voting their conscience. So this is just heavy on my mind and in my heart. I wanted to talk about it. Thank you for listening. That's all for me.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. I think it's an important part of our conversation. I think that with the actions of the last week, the assassination that occurred, I think we're at a point where it's important for all of us to take a deep breath and to think carefully about the world that we would like to build, and think about how that polarization that you're talking about, where we don't respect the center, is driving actions in our country, our state, and frankly, our community that maybe change how it feels, and we have a chance as each individual to determine how we make that better. So I appreciate your conversation. I'm going to take this moment to remind everyone that our technology this morning is not allowing us to mute folks on the telephone. So if you're on the telephone, please mute yourself either on your own device or by pressing *6 to mute yourself in our system until it is your turn to speak. Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Fournier.
I appreciate both of your comments, and I don't have anything today. I'm not going to add anything to that. So thank you.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm going to give a quick update, which will probably sound like a checklist because it kind of is. So I had the opportunity last week to be at the Rural Infrastructure Conference in Seaside, where I did present as well as attend sessions. Got some really good information on water systems and rural water systems, and rules and regulations that drive them, as well as what regionalizations might look like in some places, how water systems are either cooperating or collaborating or frankly joining. So while the county is not responsible for water systems specifically in here, most of ours are either cities or special districts or small individually owned water systems. With the shortages of water that we have started to see as we head into the late summer months, this is something where the county has been asked to engage in this conversation with some of our cities and districts. And so it was a great opportunity for me to learn some more about that so that hopefully we can be a resource for those water systems here. So that's one of my check the boxes. So I'm excited to share that Deflection, which we've been talking about for quite some time, which is really looking at shifting its name to assistive recovery, which is just it's a way for people who may be suffering from substance use disorder to easily and quickly get connected with the resources they need in a supportive environment in our community. And it's exciting for us because that is going live this week, which means that there will be the ability for walk-in assessments for individuals who for them, this is the moment they're ready to change their life. One of the huge issues is often that when someone hits that inflection point in their life, it's 2 weeks out or a month out to see a provider that can do an assessment and refer them to service quickly. That's changing in Tillamook County, which is really exciting. So that's live this week, which is fantastic. On Saturday, I had the opportunity to go up to Cape Mears and celebrate with them the installation of their emergency Connex box. They now they've had some sheds throughout their community that allow them to keep supplies. The Connex box includes technology that will allow them to connect to others in the event of a major emergency, as well as some additional supplies. It's just another great example of a community taking ownership of their emergency preparedness needs and really doing great things. So I appreciated being able to be with them this weekend for that event. Coming up this week, we have the Tillamook Working Lands and Waters tour and dinner. That will be Wednesday night for the dinner and Thursday for the tour, which is exciting. We've invited new county commissioners from across the state to join us, as well as elected and their staff from Salem. So we'll have a good mix of people this week. We're looking forward to sharing with everyone the best practices used on our working lands, including our farms, our forests, and our fisheries, how they all work together and protect our most valuable resource for them all, which is our water. So exciting to have that tour. And then on Friday, District 7 for the Association of Oregon Counties, which is the district we participate in, Columbia, Clatsop, Tillamook, and Lincoln counties will be meeting together to talk about the coming year with the association, what the roles and priorities are, as well as to take a look back at what we passed in the last legislative session and talk about what we hope to focus on in the next one. So be a great meeting for all of us, and I believe that all three commissioners and some of our staff will be in attendance. The last thing I will bring up is this week is the special session for the Senate, which is the governor opened a special session for the transportation bill. That bill passed the House of Representatives already. The special session was held open for 2 weeks to allow for a vote in the Senate as well, which I believe that starts tomorrow. So we will find out tomorrow if they are able to do it in a day or if it takes a bit more time. So keep your eyes on the horizon there. We will know what will happen with the transportation bill, I expect this week. Okay, with that, I will wrap up my report, but I'm going to circle back because I see that Randy Thorpe was able to rejoin us. So Randy, please.
Yeah, I was all ready to go and I pushed the wrong button and my whole computer kind of went down. So anyway, kind of interesting. But anyway, going on this week, this Thursday, which is the 18th, the county is hosting, and that's in conjunction with the completion of our hazardous material emergency response plan. And this is basically a discussion-based exercise. And we're going to bring Adventist Health, some city officials, Oregon Department of Human Services, or Tillamook Bay, County Public Works, and the Oregon Health Authority and the Emergency from Clatsop County. And I think I shamed a county commissioner into also attending this event. So we've got a really wide variety of services and organizations that are going to be representative. So we really should have not only a fun time, but I think a very enlightening exercise with this. And what we try to do is to test and validate and improve that emergency response plan that we have. And hopefully with this
Where's Wendy at?
we'll be able
See, the
to.
leaves were swirling in the air just a few minutes ago. It was
So,
cool, cool sight.
the person on 503-703-5348, we can hear you. Could you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Sorry, Randy, go
So,
ahead.
Yeah, we're going to identify our strengths and weaknesses in our policies, procedures, communication, and this is all done through discussion-based simulation of an actual hazardous material incident. And of course, this is done in a very stress-free environment, no finger pointing. We're here to learn and to see how we are going to respond to an incident that happens. And not only is this good, just that, you know, we're keen on hazardous material incident, but this is also a way that we can look and see how well we work together and actually look and see with our policies and procedures with other emergencies that we have here and how well they would work. And we may be able to identify some weaknesses and some improvements that we can carry through all our incidents that we have here. And again, now we're starting to get into the fall because let's see, Monday, 22nd is actually the fall equinox. So we are moving into the fall weather and possibly Tillamook's monsoon seasons, which means flooding and then we're going to get into some ice storms and some other fun stuff this winter. And so please sign up for the Tillamook County alerts. And this is very simple to do. You go to the website, it's called oralerts.gov and then a /. That's just ORALERT.gov and then a /. And you pick your county you want to sign up for your alerts. You go in and you can basically sign up for a lot of different alerts. You can sign up for the various weather alerts to come in or not sign up for them. You can indicate different ways you want to be alerted with your cell phones, a landline, or by email. So I really stress you need to do this and get signed up. It's free to do that. And of course, if you start to get too many alerts, just turn the volume down on your notifications on your phone. So anyway, it's something we really need to do. And then this will also help because we're going to be doing the countywide exercise with the shakeout in October for tsunami evacuation. And we will be sending the simulated alerts through our system on that for that exercise too. So please sign up, have your neighbors sign up. And what's interesting, if you'd like to sign up for neighboring counties, you can sign up for other counties' alerts too, if you prefer. And then you can really have a lot of fun with your phone in the middle of the night with alerts going off. So anyway, with that, I'll turn it back to Chairman Scar.
Thank you, Randy. The Nixle alerts are really, Everbridge are a really helpful tool. And often after we have an event of some kind, people will ask, well, how come nobody told me? How come I didn't get any information? And often it's because people are not signed up through the system. So it is the most comprehensive system that we have. We are able to and do send information to our radio stations and to our news sources, but they are not necessarily always sitting at the ready to put that on in its immediacy, right? So it is important to get timely information that you sign up for the Nixles. It's really, really the best tool that you can use. You can go to Facebook and look for it on the emergency management page or on the sheriff's page. But again, the tool we have chosen to use first and the one that goes out most frequently, most rapidly is that alert that will text you, email you, or call you. So please do sign up. And Randy did make reference to other counties, which is great. I actually get alerts from Wasco County where my parents live. They're a little bit elderly at this point, and I like to know what's happening in their community so I can check on them. So do know that this is a really good tool to use for your own community as well as others across the state. Okay, thank you, Randy. We will move on to the city of Manzanita. Good morning, Mayor Stock.
Good morning, Commissioner Scar. It's very nice to be here this morning. I hope everyone's having a great start to their week. I've just got two informational things this morning. First is I want to give a brief update on a council workshop, our regular one that we held Wednesday of last week. During that workshop, the City Council of Manzanita worked through collaboratively the last 3 or 4 points where we were not able to get consensus on the proposal for our new housing ordinances and the rewrite basically of our housing code here. That's to support the middle housing legislation that we're required to do by the state of Oregon, and also to include some things that are specific to the Manzanita Committee that were all passed on to us from our Planning Commission several months ago now. So we've been in deliberation on that, listening to the community. We had a special session, just kind of an open mic session, thankfully in our new City Hall, which accommodated about 50 people who showed up to give their input on that. So we're pulling all that together now. We got to consensus on the last items and have now turned that back to our city manager and the staff who are assisting her to come back next to council with the rewrite of the code, as we did not accept everything as proposed by our Planning Commission. So we don't have the dates for it yet, but it should be later this fall. We'll be having the public hearings that we both want to have and are required to have as we make those changes. And I'll continue to keep the group updated on that as we move forward, but that felt good. And now, of course, additional public input will be welcome, and we will get to our decision, and that will all get implemented, which will be great. The second thing I'd like to mention has to do with the work on our comprehensive plan update. I've been talking about this, I think, week after week for many weeks on this call, but we've got another, and I'm really looking forward to it, another, I think, what will be very good community summit that's planned for next week on the 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30. We'll be working on Goal 17 and Goal 18 of the comprehensive plan process. 17 covers coastal shorelands and 18 covers beaches and dunes, which of course is incredibly relevant to our community and all the coastal communities. We're going to have some folks from the Department of Land Conservation and Development join us so that we can get better educated on the current state of law and also conditions in our state and on our shoreline, so we can all be better informed as we get into discussion about what the community would like to see. And then we'll have a small group activity for people to participate in. Everyone is welcome. We are reaching out to the communities around us as well as the city of Manzanita itself. And we're very much looking forward to a good learning session and a good discussion. So that'll be great. You need to, if you're going to plan to attend that, we really need you to go to our city's website, City of Manzanita's website. On the very front page, there's a thing about the summit, a posting about the summit, and there's an RSVP that you need to sign up for. We're doing that because we're anticipating we'll be at maximum capacity for this. So we want people to be able to plan ahead. And then there's more details about the summit there as well. And that's it from Manzanita this morning. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, moving on to Rockaway Beach. I believe we have Mayor McNeely with us.
Good morning. It was a busy week in Rockaway Beach. A major highlight this week is the successful appointment of Rockaway Beach Patrol's fourth and final deputy. Rockaway Beach Patrol reached full staffing last Sunday with the addition of Mark Weir, an experienced former jail deputy. And achieving full staffing for the Rockaway Beach Patrol fulfills one of the city's principal goals and showcases the progress and dedication driving our 5-year strategic plan. At last week's workshop, we discussed next steps for the Sandberry Trail. Rockaway Beach will work with Alta Planning and Design and ODOT to complete the 30% design document for the Rail with Trail from Wayside to Nadana Beach. Once complete, we will pause the project while the funding landscape evolves. In parallel, Public Works Director Mertz is building a web page that will show the timeline of our work on the Sandberry Trail with links to all the artifacts that were created during this journey. So folks who are interested can go in and just see what we've done, what we found during this multi-year effort. We do expect to focus more attention on the in-water improvements to Lake Lytle now including an ADA-compliant kayak launch. A major decision was made at last Tuesday night's well-attended remand hearing. The City Council revisited the application from Nadana Development for Phase 2 after two findings of error were sent back for remand by LUBA. After considering the record, staff report, applicant's testimony, and public testimony, the City Council moved unanimously to reverse the Planning Commission's July 18, 2024 decision on application PUD 24-1, and in doing so denied application PUD 24-1. The work of City Planner Tapia and City staff was exemplary. City staff will now work with our legal team and submit a final order later this month. Race Stryker, Tillamook Estuaries Habitat Restoration Project Manager, that was a mouthful, informed us that their restoration project on Jetty Creek is now complete, which I find very exciting. And then last, Go Rockaway, a 501c3 nonprofit community-based organization that actively involves volunteers in planning and organizing events which contribute to our community, is coordinating Bargains on the Beach, the citywide garage sale with over 40 residents and 25 businesses participating this coming Saturday, September 20th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Information is available on their website at gorockaway.org. And come on, folks, who doesn't love a good garage sale? How about in one day you can hit 40 plus go to over 20 businesses and get deals with their items. With that, I'll kick it back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. Perfect. Okay, so we will keep trucking here and go on to Bay City, where I believe I have Mayor Welch with us this morning. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Commissioner Scar. So the City of Bay City is now accepting applications for an ad hoc playground committee. So you can get those applications either online at our website or at City Hall. The Bay City Emergency Volunteers are continuing to work on our goals. And one of them this year is, of course, we're going to participate in the Great Oregon Shakeout. So we will have people at our assembly sites and giving out information about how to be prepared at home and then what we are doing for our community. We're also working on an emergency resource center at City Hall. So if we have a power outage over 12 hours, the Emergency Resource Center will be open from 10 to 4, so people can come in, get information, they can power up their devices and get maybe something hot to drink. We also have the coffee with the mayor and city manager next Tuesday, September 23rd at 9:30 at City Hall. So all are welcome, and that is my report for today. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we will move on and wrap it up with City Manager Sean Lewis from the City of Tillamook.
Good morning, Commissioner and everyone. It's good to be here with you. Last night, our City Council, Mr. Swanson already mentioned this a little bit, but we had a wonderful event with Dr. B and the proclamation for him. We also had a proclamation for Constitution Week, which is next week, encouraging all of our residents to celebrate and reread the U.S. Constitution. We do want to talk about our water rates. The council last night did vote to raise water rates 18%. However, the raise is only for 1 year. There's a couple of nuanced things that go into that, but water rates will change starting on your bills either in October or November, depending on when we can get that into our software systems and meet our billing scheduling needs. But just want to appreciate everybody that came out and was there with us last night. We had a packed house, more than I've ever seen in our building. And of course, our council chambers aren't the greatest for holding crowds, but everybody was patient, and even those that came and spoke in disagreement of some of the things that the city has done recently, they were respectful. So to Commissioner Bell's point, I think for a lot of people, the polarization is extreme, but there are some who can still have civility in their discourse, at least at our City Hall. So and we're grateful for that. So that's my report, and thanks for everybody for having us on today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So just thank everyone for bearing with us through our little technology challenge this morning. Hopefully we will get that fixed before our next meeting. But again, thank everyone for attending. I want to thank KTIL for broadcasting, and we will adjourn this meeting at 8:40 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.